As tradition on the show, we always bring a new and unique craft beer to enjoy and drink and tell you about. So what are you drinking tonight? Let us know in the chat what you're having tonight. And I'm going to start out with Cowboy Jack. Has a really cool brewery.
So what started out as a tap room in 2013 that was only able to produce 31 gallons of beer in a batch grew, and by 2019, they took over a new location that can pump out 155 gallons of beer per batch, a dining area that seats 65, a patio that seats 80 for those lovely spring days that we're enjoying in Arizona right now. And you can go there. It's called the Peoria Artisan Brewery. It's you can go there and enjoy top shelf new American style cuisine prepared by executive chef Michael Mahalik. What started from humble beginnings has turned into an oasis in the Sonoran Desert of Peoria, Arizona, with 10 to 14 brews on tap. One of those beers just happens to be named, quite simply, Citrus IPA. It's a 5.8%er, so a breakfast beer. It's a juicy IPA with a big citrusy hop flavors and aromas. They finish it off with Cascade hops during the boil, and then they dry hop it with pounds and pounds and pounds of Citra hops, and then they throw a touch of Comet and Amarillo hops in during the fermentation process. It pours a light hazy orange yellow with a white fluffy head that will have you coming back for round 2. So, members of the Brewniverse, if you are in town for spring training at the Surprise Stadium or the Peoria Sports Complex, swing in to Peoria Artisan Brewery, grab a K-pop chicken sandwich, sample their delicious craft beers, and let the owners, Matthew and Christina Frosch, know that the Valley of the Sun's favorite son, Cowboy Jack Durango, sent you.
Nice. That is awesome.
So I got to tell you, I visited Peoria Artisan Brewery very, very early on in my craft beer journey. So probably right after that first hoppy hour that we did. I didn't know what to look for. I didn't know what my palate was. So I went for a darker, strong, stouter beer, and it was like, that is like coffee. I don't know if I like that.
Yeah.
But as I've refined my palate and I found this citrus IPA that they have, I can't recommend it high enough. So please, please, please stop on by. You know, they're not canning. It's a gastropub. You can take home a growler. You can't find it in stores. I hope they get to that level because they pump out some great beers that definitely deserve some attention next time everybody's in Peoria.
Nice. And where is it in proximity to the Peoria Sports Complex?
So it is northwest.
Got it.
By about 8 to 12 minutes, depending on traffic.
Okay.
So we went to the Peoria Tap Room together.
Yeah.
It is due north of Peoria Tap Room by 3 minutes.
Oh, okay.
So
very cool.
Very close to the home base, the old the Dead Horse Ranch where I live. It's close to the Good Tap Room. It's close to the Good Brothers over at Richter. And I mean, 8-minute drive to Peoria Sports Complex. Well worth the trip. The food is to die for. The beer's great. And, 10 to 14 different beers on tap that they brew there. Man, it doesn't matter if you like stouts or Kolsch's or lagers or citrus IPAs. They have something for you. They also do craft cocktails with local craft vodkas and tequilas. It's a community spot, man. It's real cool.
That's awesome. And so you've had all these profiles on so many great Phoenix and Tempe and Mesa, Chandler, Gilbert, all those breweries. I'm so impressed because these are all I haven't heard of before, and very few of them that I have heard of. So it's so great to hear about a new one. And if I'm not mistaken, I hope I'm right on this one. But I think the beer that you're looking at right here is called, I think it's called a Darth Helmet. Maybe.
Ooh, yes.
Baseballs. Or Dark Helmet. Dark Helmet.
Dark Helmet. Yes,
Dark Helmet.
They have the Dark Helmet on their list.
Yeah. So I have the list right here if it's on there. But Yeah, there's a citrus IPA on there. So,
and they've also got that Haboob Black IPA that I'm itching to try.
Yeah. Kevin, you're on mute if you don't know that.
I literally had sound like a drum solo going on downstairs in my house, and I'm like,
got it.
Really, of all the times you're gonna be doing this, is it 6:30 on Tuesday when we're recording the show?
It's all good. Murphy's Law, right?
Yeah.
Well, it's just thank you, Jack, for this. This is amazing. Peoria Artisan Brewery. Definitely check it out. And we'll be in Phoenix, so maybe we can swing by and do that. Kevin, you have a beer that I'm super excited about as well.
So here's why we were singing some Lemmy tonight. This is Motorhead Iron Fist. It's actually a beer by a place called Liftbridge. They're based out of Stillwater, Minnesota. And I never would have heard of this brewery except for they got the rights to make a Motorhead beer. And bam, there it was. It's called Iron Fist, a loud and hazy IPA. The reason why it's called Iron Fist is because 2022 is the 40th anniversary of the Iron Fist record by Motorhead. Released in 1982, it's Motorhead's 5th studio album, and the last to feature the three amigos of Lemmy, Fast Eddie Clark, and Phil Filthy Animal. Make sure that's spelled Philthy.
That's awesome.
Jack. Make sure you spell that right. Phil Filthy Animal Taylor. The live shows included a gigantic iron fist behind Filthy, as well as a stage which was lowered from the ceiling during the start of the show. Marvelous Motor Madness. And you have a line from one of the songs here. I do it like Lemmy. Here comes the drum solo. You know me, evil eye. You know me, prepare to die. You know me, the graveyard kiss, devil's grip, the Iron Fist.
Nice.
But what's funny though is apparently Motorhead definitely is getting some licensing out because they actually have a website here, drinkmotorhead.com, which will take you to there you go. 32. Wow. See, I didn't have to tell Michael about this. So apparently there's all these different drinks you can get. You can get bourbon, and there was another one that was out by another brewer. Again, these brewers I probably would never even known about one for this. So it's kind of fun. And the Liftbridge has been around since 2008. So they were pretty early on for the brewery game. And they've done a good enough business. They have a location in Stillwater, Minnesota. I'm sorry, Ian, you can tell me where that is. And they actually have a location in Wisconsin. They have a tap room in what's called New Richmond, Wisconsin. It's wow, that's cool to find out about a brewery I would never known about. And it is loud and it's hazy at 6%. So this is a starter. It's a warm up. It's a warm up for when we get hazy, really hazy later on.
Yeah.
So here's the Motorhead. Cheers the Lemmy. Oh, there we go. Thanks, Ian. Right on. And I also want to put these guys over because tomorrow is International Women's Day. So they actually have a beer coming out tomorrow called Fantastic Lager, and it's named that for using Phantasm hops. And it's brewed by the women who work at Liftbridge. So it's a lager made with Phantasm and hops, known for their tropical flavors and aromas. A light, tasty sipper that makes for easy drinking, and that's being released tomorrow. So that's a cool thing too. Also, I gotta mention this, and Jack would appreciate this too. So they're actually doing a wrestling show at the location in Stillwater on this Saturday, March 18th. Believe it or not, the show is called Mango Madness. And,
oh wow!
There's actually a wrestling show at the brewery. The group is called Midwest All-Star Wrestling. The main event is Rachel Ellering, the daughter of Precious Paul Ellering, used to manage the Road Warriors, taking on a woman named Sierra. I don't know if I've seen her before. The special guest referee is, do you remember her name's ODB? She was
sure.
I don't know if she made WWE, but I think she was in TNA and Impact. Yeah. So I'm oh, that's fun. I just hashtag do the research, find a couple fun things that they have going on. So you can go check it out, and I hope you enjoyed them because I'm enjoying this one. I don't know if I'll be able to ever get one of these beers, but good stuff.
Yeah, it's super cool. I'm so glad that they're doing this. And I was going to tell you, so the very first time I ever saw Motorhead was actually on a British comedy show called The Young Ones. And it was briefly on MTV, but eventually I got the videotapes and stuff like that. It was kind of like, as someone who grew up on Benny Hill, I love British comedy and all that stuff, and Monty
it's just
Python.
absurd because all of a sudden Motorhead's just playing in their living room, just out of nowhere, for like absolutely no reason. They're playing Ace of Spades. You know, it's like, all right, this is really cool.
And I'm like, who is this band? This band's awesome. And it was kind of like one of these scenes where they go from their apartment and they have to like, go down.
We have 2 minutes to get to the train station. I remember.
That's it. And it's like this. It's perfect for that. It was so high energy. So Motorhead rules. And I actually saw them play once. It used to be, I think it was Billboard Live. It was like down.
You know what that could be? I gotta do the voice. I'm sorry, it's not Lemmy, but it's Gazzari's on the Strip, where the Doors, Van Halen, and Rat started.
That's right. Yeah, and
later became the Key Club right there on the Sunset.
Key Club. That's what it was. Yeah.
If anything's going on there now.
Yeah,
that was pretty cool back in the day. Featured in Decline of the Western Civilization Part 2, The Metal Years.
Oh, look at this. Yes,
Old Man Gazzari of all these like hot babes all hanging out with him. Decadent Time, let me tell you. Also, to tie it all together, Lemmy is in that movie as well.
There you go. It all comes around.
Yeah. Dude, I love Motorhead. I forgot how much I love Motorhead until Kevin said he was having this beer in the last few days, man. I've been jamming out, brother.
Yeah.
I mean, there are a lot more in Ace of Spades. Let me tell you that.
Yeah.
But good times. I got to see a couple times. A fun show. I think I saw him about 6 months before he died, and he was still going for it as hard as he could because that was his life, Cheers to him.
Yeah. Awesome. So thank you for that one. That's a good one. My beer tonight is from Harland Brewing. It's actually in San Diego. It's the Azaka Citra Hazy IPA. I've had a beer from Harland before. I think it was just a regular IPA, or was it a West Coast? I'm forgetting, but this was really.
We've had a few Harlands between all of us, yeah.
Yeah, and they also have a rice lager. It's pretty popular. And this one is 7% ABV, no IBU listed. One of the first beers ever canned by Harland, returns hopped with our hand-selected Citra and Azaka from the Pacific Northwest. This beer highlights hops that produce huge, bright citrus and tangerine aromatics, as well as a touch of dankness. So I have not tasted this yet. And I just did something there we go. We're back. I touched something on my keyboard and everything like flew off the screen.
I just saw you freeze for a second.
So there you go. I'm going to try this one.
Thank you for having a hazy to go with hazy history layer today. I appreciate that.
Well, that's exactly why I picked this one. Ooh,
we're on brand.
Oh yeah. This is good. It's very malty, and it's more malty than I expected. Citrus, tangerine, definitely there. Yeah, you can definitely smell it. You can smell the hops are kind of not sour, but not pungent. It's actually kind of smooth. But super malty. And Jack, you saw that article about like these hazies. What makes a hazy? And it's the malt was a big part of it, right?
Right. Yeah. Yeah. That's took. I thought it would be all in the hops and some process in the hops, but apparently the malt's the secret sauce, baby.
Yeah, this is, oh my gosh, this is very good. Again, if you were just to pick up this beer might be a little sour for you and you probably get thrown off. I would suggest like starting with like kind of a regular IPA and then kind of maybe getting this one later. It's very hop filled. So a lot of people sometimes they think they might like a lot of hops, but this one may kind of throw you off a little bit. So I would start with some other IPAs and kind of work your way. I love this because I can definitely appreciate the flavor profile in it. It's actually very, very good. So Harland Brewing is actually, and actually I've only found a single can of this. It wasn't a 4-pack.
Really?
Yeah, I actually found just a single can of it. So I had to pick it up. Yeah. It was definitely unique.
Harland is definitely somebody you want on your bench because they're hitting solid triples every time they step up to bat, aren't they?
You had a beer. There's 2 on the show before. I forgot.
Oh yeah, no, Harland is there. You can get it everywhere here, man. Trader
really?
Joe's, the tap rooms, and it is the Total Wines. It's everybody carries Harland. There's a reason. It's because it's friggin' good.
Yeah,
you know,
it's very.
They make a solid beer. So I'm gonna keep my eyes out for this one. That sounds like right up my alley.
Yeah,
awesome. And but I wanted to end this segment out with something that Kevin wanted me to promote, and it's this.
Yeah, so last night I went to rate it, and there's a new documentary, and it's called "This Is Here Girl Beer," and it starts off with the whole thing is like, oh, here's a girl beer that you can have. You know what I mean? It's like something that's supposed to be a little light or whatever, and it's a short, like about 45-minute documentary, and it's pretty much focusing mostly on people who work in the LA beer scene. But what they're talking about can definitely apply to anywhere in the United States. You know, you're talking about, you know, people work at breweries and talk about their experiences. Obviously, some misogyny in there, unfortunately, and just, you know, what they're doing. It's cool because they put over local places like Smog City. You know, this was filmed a few years ago, so it's interesting seeing like McLeod Ale. And they're talking about how it's rising. I'm like, oh my gosh! And since that time, McLeod, I know, has had to like scale back.
Right.
So that's the only unfortunate part of it, because some of the footage is like at least 4 years old, but it's the same generic message. It's just a cool, solid documentary, and they had like a screening of it last night, a little GoFundMe thing. So I figured, hey, you know what? Put it out there. Check it out if you want to just throw a few bucks to help out. You know, some girls are trying to get the message out that, hey, girls, you know, are involved and doing a good job making great beer for us, and they're definitely a part of our community.
Yeah, and it's a fantastic. I was so happy when I saw this, and I wouldn't have known about it had you not told me about it. So
yeah, I didn't know either until last night. I thought, you know, and again, with tomorrow being International Women's Day, I was like, hey, it's good timing for this.
Perfect. So here's the GoFundMe if you want to go to that. Kevin has donated to it last night as well. I saw it on there.
Yeah, it's like a $5. It's like, hey, if you're going to come watch this, donate $5. Mike, yeah, it's the least I can do. You know?
That's perfect. That's perfect.
Now, and this is put together by the Pink Boots Society, or this is tied to the Pink
Boots?
It's
something independent of them. They do mention them in there, but that's what I originally thought. But no, it's just I think it's a couple just independent filmmakers, probably people involved in the scene who just went out and just, you know, found people who worked at, whether it's just work at a brewery or you like beer. They interviewed someone who's actually a lawyer who became a lawyer and realized her work was, I'm going to help these breweries with like trademarks and licensing, those kind of things. And then 5 years ago, she had like her own firm with like 4 other lawyers working underneath her. So, you know, so there's good success stories in there, and it's good to see that, you know.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we're amplifying it. The millions of fans we have out there, they're going to go and hit that up. Hit them up, everybody. Right.
Yes, we have millions of fans, but we only have 470 subscribers. So let's turn that around. Let's turn that frown upside down.
There you go. Jerry Lee Lewis, help us now.
Yeah.
Yes.
Don't send us any of your cousins, please.
Awesome. So
that's a solid callback. That's a solid one, dude.